Hi, I'm Tim Meendering, and I served as an installed pastor for about 20 years, and then have been serving as a transitional pastor for about 3 years with the Regional Synod of the Great Lakes. And I often say one of the best things about being a transitional pastor is that you can have a significant impact, significant opportunity for change in a short period of time. And one of the great advantages of employing a transitional pastor is that you don't have to wait for your installed pastor to get some change underway. One of the greatest needs often in the church is to have some kind of transformation as it relates to outreach, because every church will inevitably have some kind of mission drift. And so what we do is focus on what are some things that we can do to bring about real change relating to outreach. The resistance, both in my own heart, the hearts of everyone in the pew, the resistance in the culture, the gates of hell, everyone is working against the work of Christ in bringing about salvation to the world. And so what is it that we can do to help bring about some kind of turn toward outreach? And one of the things we know we need to do as we do that is that we're going to have to be intentional, relentless, and strategic. So how do we do that? Well, what I have determined in my experience is that it's very helpful to think in terms of initiating and building some key rhythms into the leadership and congregational culture. Kevin Harney, in his books on organic outreach, will talk about this change in the culture, and he refers to the culture as an operating system. And he talks about infusing some key elements into the culture in order to bring about a transition toward outreach. The first one that he talks about is inspiration. I need a refreshing in the wonder of the gospel every day. And our congregations need to have this daily discovery of the wonder of who Christ is, so that I am more inclined to give my life, give my love, and sacrifice myself for the sake of my King. So that's inspiration. And then number two, accountability. And what that means is that what am I doing personally? How can I be held accountable for doing my part with outreach? And so one of the rhythms that we have built into the congregation where I'm at this point is that every consistory or board meeting, we begin by giving each leader 2 minutes to answer 3 questions. What is your outreach temperature and why? So how hot are you about sharing your faith? And then number 2, tell us about one story of sharing your faith in the last month. And then number 3, what are you going to do to raise your temperature by 1 degree? And then a third element that we want to think about is planning. What are the steps that we're going to take to make some progress? And fourth, we're going to think about education, always education. And toward these last 2 elements here, another rhythm that we are working on is monthly leadership community meetings, where we gather all of the teams that we have going in the church, so hospitality and mission and worship and all the teams, all the leaders, all the members of the teams, and we focus on getting refreshed in the vision. We focus on some teaching and learning, and then we get together, everybody, and start thinking about some planning toward outreach. All of those things work together to, as we build these rhythms in, infuse, change the culture, and ultimately bring about subturning toward outreach. And then the last bit of what we want to do is find a pastor who is passionate about outreach, and then we'll just want to commit to perpetuating these same rhythms. And we have then hopefully developed a solid foundation for a church that is moving forward in health and in mission for the glory of the King.